Mama, did you know that they have been taking my temperature just to even let me come in here? Because they're all worried about that coronavirus. Now, what's going to happen if I happen to get sick and they don't let me come up here to see you? What you going to do?
Oh, faint.
Will you miss me if I don't come?
Terribly.
Terribly.
Since March, the effects of COVID restrictions on those living in long-term care, nursing homes, and senior residential communities across the U.S. have been devastating. For many, isolation measures in an attempt to protect these fragile populations have had unintended consequences, including falls, malnutrition, infections, dehydration, and far too many deaths, especially for those on lockdown in memory care. Prior to the doors being closed to families, Mary Daniel went to visit her husband Steve every evening at his memory care residence. Steve has Alzheimer's, and the routine of Mary's visits calmed him at the end of the day. Her presence was also helpful to the staff because she would get him ready for bed every evening. All that came to a halt in early March.
I'm so glad to be here, so I can see you today on Father's Day.
On Father's Day, I couldn't do anything.
After months of either not seeing Steve or trying to do frustrating window visits that Steve didn't understand, Mary was able to get a job inside Steve's facility as a dishwasher. This ultimately brought her national media attention and was the catalyst to her creating a space for other people desperate to see their loved ones and share their stories. The Caregivers for Compromise Facebook group quickly grew, even including staff who were caring for those in these communities. Dementia care expert Teepa Snow began following the movement and made a sobering comparison of what these lockdown measures might be like for those living isolated in memory care.
So it's like that a family was told, okay, so drop your kid off at daycare. The daycare workers are going to continue to come in and out. And we're going to isolate each of the children at daycare in separate rooms. And we're going to make it a live-in situation for those children. And you're not going to get to see them again except on video, or except you can stand outside the window and say to them, I can't come in. I know you don't understand the why of it, but I can see you, but you can't be with me. And I'm leaving you with people that you sort of know, but are not yours. And I'm not going to be with you. I mean, is that accurate?
Because I come to this window to see Steve like so many other thousands of people across the United States, hundreds of thousands of people across the United States. And it's just simply not enough. It's frustrating for him. He doesn't understand why I'm standing at this window instead of being close to him as I've been every single day since he's been here. I've said it 1,000 times, we have isolated them to save their lives, but this isolation is killing them every single day. These people are dying alone, and that is just absolutely cruel, and it needs to stop. There has to be a better way. On our Facebook page, there are hundreds of stories of bed-bound patients that are living in a bed alone without their loved one.
Thank you for bringing this to light regarding nursing homes. No one should ever have to go through what I got through. Times that I've had to wait more than 16, 18 hours just to have a diaper change. And the reason being is because they feel like they don't have to. That's their mentality. Let people know that the people in nursing homes were human beings.
A big part of this problem is what's happening on the inside of the facilities, not with the patients, but with the staff. They are overworked, they're understaffed. The turnover in this industry is incredibly high anyway, and so the overwhelming feeling of them is burnout. We're seeing a lot of that on the Facebook page. There are a lot of caregivers, people that actually work, nurses, CNAs, hospice nurses that are commenting as well and telling their stories. One just recently said that she loved her job, that she did this as a dream job, and for the very first time in her life, she hates her job. She misses the families, she misses the music parties, she misses the birthday parties, she misses dancing with all of the patients. It is changing the dynamic of so many people.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mama. Happy birthday to you.
This is doing true harm and damage to these patients. They are dying, and no one wants to talk about it, and we think it's time to start the conversation.
My mom was a resident in a long-term facility in Sarasota with dementia. And I say was because my mother just recently passed away on July 31st. I was very lucky to have been able to bring my mother home so she could die with me by her side, holding her hand. It's the first time I was able to hold her hand in 4.5 months. So I count myself as very lucky. Not everybody has that luxury. Initially, I think that the lockdown was well-intentioned, keeping our most vulnerable protected and safe from coronavirus. The lockdown has removed our loved one's first level of defense, which is the family member. We are their advocate. We are their care surrogates. We make sure that they are being taken care of properly. By removing that level of protection, you've now opened an opportunity for abuse and neglect. Our loved ones, due to isolation and loneliness and despair, are failing at a more rapid rate. So failure to thrive, not eating, refusing food, losing weight. This is a common thread. We hear this across the board with so many people in these facilities right now, and it's heartbreaking. And you know, they need real hugs. Trust me, we all want real hugs, and they need real hugs, and they deserve real hugs. I'm hoping that you will find compassion and care for these residents that you claim you want to protect. I applaud you wanting to protect them, but you're allowing them to remain in isolation, which is killing them.
Watching Steve try to offer Mary some of his crackers through a screen was one of the most poignant things I've ever seen. Across the country, families are doing whatever they can to try and maintain some kind of relationship with their loved ones from afar, all the while watching staff members get to take their place. These family members are willing to do whatever it takes to be able to safely reconnect with their loved ones, including constant testing. But government officials cite test shortages as a reason for not letting families in yet. We have to do better. This isn't a political issue, it's a humanitarian issue, and we need to find solutions now before the windows of connection close permanently for more of this fragile population.
I love you, Steve Daniel.